Hi guys, my name's Renee and welcome to Bernadoodle's Barnyard. So unfortunately, I had about 20 uses out of my off-brand Amazon cream separator and it just died on me. I'm not sure why. I might also try to repair that at some point, but for the price, it was almost worth it just to get a new one. So this time around, instead of just going by it with a random off-brand one, I'm trying the Vevor brand. So I just took it out of the box, other than the name on it and a different type of cord. It looks very similar to the other one, so I'll show you that. So right out of the box, this is how it came out. The whole drum came assembled. I checked and the seal is in there and it's set up correctly. I can take that apart to show you though. These came wrapped. This came together. When you want to clean it, it comes apart into two pieces. There's the bowl. It also came with an extra seal, which is nice. So when you're putting it together, this goes in the bowl. Allows you to open and close to let the milk flow through. This is the plug it came with. So it's nicer than the off-brand one, and the fact that the plug comes off because the other one was attached and I couldn't remove the plug. This piece here will go in here. It's called a float. Make sure to take this apart to clean it when you... Oh, wait. There's another improvement on the Vevor. I don't have to take this apart to clean it. My other one I did. This one's actually sealed, so the milk can't get in there and get moldy. That's a much better design. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna take the drum apart so you can see all the parts that are inside of it. So now, to open the drum, you're going to want to line these two posts up with the holes on the top and unscrew the nut here. You're gonna wanna do this when you first get it so that you can wash all the parts. And then afterwards, you need to do it to clean the parts every time, and you'll have to know how to put it back together every time. So this part comes off. When you put it back together to use it, make sure this little pinhole lines up with this opening. And these all come off. The rubber gasket goes here. And then there are all these discs. They all slide on there. And the one that goes on first has these knobs on the inside. All of the other discs are identical. It doesn't matter the order they go on, but they don't have the knobs on the inside. So the one with these raised pieces here goes on first. And then there's this piece. You're gonna want to line up that hole right there. And slide these back on. Okay. Again, put that on top. A little pinhole here. Line that up. And then you screw this on tight. To attach the plug, this groove part goes on the bottom. Push it in, and then it has a nice ring here. Should help keep milk out of there when you have spills, I'm assuming. So that's nice. To turn it on, you just flip this up. Make sure it's all together before you turn that on, and let it run before you put any liquid through it. So I'm going to assemble this, and then I'm going to run some boiling water through it first, and then I'm going to run my warmed milk through it. So you can either put the milk fresh from the animal, or I'm heating some up on the stove here. You want it to be at least 90 degrees, 100 degrees is good. I also have some straight from the goat here that's warm enough. Another improvement the Vevor has to the off-brand one is this arrow, which shows you where that bar on the inside is. I can't tell you how many times I put it on here just slightly off, and the bar didn't slide over this, and it spun and it chews up the metal. So you need to line up the arrow and try to put it on there so that bar is on the groove here. Using this tool, you take this end and you insert it in the screw here to adjust your butterfat content. Turn it clockwise if you want to make the butterfat thinner. If you want a thicker cream, turn it counterclockwise. Next, you're going to want to put the spouts on. Just slides over this. Put the spouts where you want to put your containers to catch your cream and milk. Then this goes on with the float facing this direction. And then you simply just put the bowl on top of there. Now I'm going to turn it on and let it run for a while. That's how it should sound. Any clanking means that you have something aligned wrong. Make sure to shut it off right away and fix that. Now put some catch bowls under to catch your milk and cream. Right now I'm going to put the boiling water through the machine and let it run all the way through. The one the most of the water is coming out is going to be the one your milk comes out. So the lower one is your milk, the top one is your cream. I switched the cream jar out for an actual jar because this is how I like storing it in the fridge. Just make sure you don't fill it higher than when you tip it like this. You don't want it coming out this side, so probably only fill it up to like the neck. I'm gonna start pouring the milk through. I have it shut right now, so to let the milk out, you just gently turn it. And it should start separating. It takes a little while for the cream to run through, but if you didn't see it dripping out by the time you're like halfway through, it's definitely set wrong. You're gonna wanna shut it off and start over. But that looks pretty good. I just poured my second bowl in and milk started leaking out here. Whoop, see? So that bowl's not setting flat in there. I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if it's a defect. Ooh, dripping out that side too. It's not a big leak, but there's definitely something not quite right here. Should not be leaking there. Putting a little bit of milk in my cream, which is annoying. Okay, my first jar of cream's almost full. I'm gonna switch that out soon, and I have this about 1.5 gallons worth of milk left to put in. Once the milk's separated, I'm dumping it back in a pan so that I can make cheese next. This last pot I'm ladling in because it was too full to pour, and the leak stopped. So the bowl's not full and it's not leaking. Okay, now it's done running the milk through. I'm going to shut it off, scrape all the cream that's inside here into the jar. Then I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to run the hot water through it to rinse all the parts to get any remaining cream out. Makes it a lot easier to wash. As it's shutting off, make sure to let it run all the way until you don't hear any noise. Otherwise, it's going to make a big clanking as you try to take this apart while the centrifuge is still spinning. When you're done running your cream, you just want to take it all apart, wash everything really good with soap and water, and it's good to go away for next time. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this purchase. It was inexpensive. It has some features that are slightly better than the off-brand ones. Now the test will just be to see how long it lasts, and hopefully it lasts a lot longer than the last one, because that was just a waste of money. It only lasted under 30 uses, which is ridiculous. So hopefully it holds up. Other than that, I'm happy with it. I'll have to see if the connection here, if I can fix that. Maybe I just didn't have it pressed together tight enough or something. So that was the only thing I saw that didn't work properly. Otherwise, it did its job. It did what it was supposed to do. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you next time on Bernadoodle's Barnyard.